Team-ups are a classic trope in the world of superheroes for one very simple reason. They're a lot of fun. After all, who doesn't love seeing their favourite heroes hang out and fight bad guys? And fighting each other for that matter, as a lot of team-ups usually include heroes fighting each other for little to no reason, before cooler heads prevail and they team up to fight the real bad guy. And this video is going to take a look at the 5 best team-ups of 2 iconic superheroes, Batman and the Flash. Flash and Substance. In this episode, we get a look at what the Flash's private life is like in his home of Central City. Now, the premise is that he's being given a commendation, and he convinces Batman to come with him because he doesn't want to go alone. And then Batman intimidates Orion into joining them. And through the story, we see how the people of Central City view the Flash, and they basically view him as the ultimate hero in the world, and we see what his day-to-day life is like in this universe. And of course, we meet his rogues gallery, who are trying to get their revenge on him for foiling their previous plans. And even though Batman and Orion want to deal with this in their own way, the Flash insists that they deal with it in his more relaxed and laid-back way. So instead of fighting or interrogating the trickster, the Flash just has a drink with him and they have a little heart-to-heart. And he learns all of the rogues gallery's plans, and even manages to convince the trickster to go back on his meds, and to go back to the hospital once he's finished his drink. Which of course the trickster agrees to because he's insane. And this team up is great because we see how effective the Flash actually is as a hero. After all, in this show he is mainly the comic relief. But even though he has a different way of dealing with things, he is still a hero and he does still get the job done. And he gets it done without too much violence, destruction, or even intimidation of criminals. And Batman actually learns a lot about the Flash, and a lot about the different approaches to fighting crime. And although Batman obviously isn't going to change his approach in the way he fights crime, I mean we all know he's stuck in his ways, I think seeing that the Flash does it in a different way actually gives him a glimmer of hope. And this may actually be the moment when the Flash has fully earned Batman's respect in this universe. Flashpoint. The only team up on our list with a non-Bruce Wayne Batman. And in this story, history has been changed, and the world of DC is completely different. Superman has been locked up by the government without anyone ever knowing he even existed. The Amazons are at war with the Atlanteans, being led by Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and they have destroyed a significant portion of the world, and quite a lot of the people in it. And as for Bruce Wayne, he was shot in Crime Alley instead of his parents. And this led to Bruce Wayne's mother going insane and becoming the Joker, and his father becoming this world's Batman. So when the Flash wakes up in this new world with no idea what has happened and without his powers, he goes looking for the smartest man he knows, Bruce Wayne. But when he gets to the Batcave, he finds out that Thomas Wayne is the new Batman and that the world has changed. So after the Flash convinces this Batman that time must have been changed, the two of them team up to change it back by getting the man who changed it, the Reverse Flash. And this begins with Batman helping the Flash to get his powers back by being struck by lightning, and also with some special chemicals he needs to be doused with. And after this works, the two of them then try to unite the world's heroes and go to Europe in search of the Reverse Flash, and also to fight the Atlanteans and the Amazons, who are of course there as well. Now, as I'm sure all of you are already aware, the Flash then finds out that he was the one who actually changed history by going back in time and saving his mother's life. And this act of changing the past created ripples through time that changed everything. And after Batman shoots the Reverse Flash in the head, as this Batman has no problem killing people, the Flash is then free to go back in time and fix things, which means that he has to let his mother die. But he makes this sacrifice in order to fix the world and save hundreds of millions of lives. And it's a great story of sacrifice, and one of the most emotional Batman-Flash team-ups that there is. In fact, I think it is the most emotional one to date. And it's such a great story that it's even been adapted into an animated film, and recently a live-action film, which is currently in cinemas at the making of this video. And I haven't actually had a chance to see it yet, but fingers crossed that they do the story justice. Requiem for a Scarlet Speedster. Now this team-up starts with Batman joining the original Jay Garrick Flash and Kid Flash in battle, both of whom are furious with each other and constantly bickering with one another. Now this leads to Batman learning that the Flash has actually died, having been lured to his death by the Reverse Flash, and having saved Kid Flash and Jay Garrick with his final moments. But of course they realise that the Flash is not actually dead, but is instead trapped in the future and being held prisoner by the Reverse Flash, whom is siphoning off his Speed Force energy to boost his own speed and to give super speed to his most loyal of henchmen. Now with this extra power, the Reverse Flash and his men easily capture the heroes, but with Batman being Batman, he not only escapes, but he manages to get a hold of the henchmen's armbands that gives them their super speed. So we get to see a speedster version of Batman, whom is basically unstoppable. And together the team free the Flash, who then faces off against the Reverse Flash. Now the Reverse Flash has some extra speed in his tank thanks to all that siphoning off, but the Flash does what all heroes do when they are outgunned. He uses his brain to outthink the villain, and he turns the land they are running on into glass with his speed, and so he crashes, defeated. And though the Flash and Batman don't spend too much time together in this story, it is still very much a team up, and quite an enjoyable one, mainly because we get to see a super speed Batman, which is pretty cool. A Mirror Darkly. In this episode, Mirror Master has come to Gotham City and is using mirror clones of superheroes to commit robberies. Now the mirror clones have both the skills and the superpowers of the heroes, which means that the only way Batman can take them down is by teaming up with the real Flash. Not that Batman invites him though. Instead, the Flash runs all over Gotham and its tunnels until he finds the Batcave, and basically invites himself along on the mission. And they learn that the robberies are all part of Mirror Master's plans to build a super weapon that can trap all of Gotham cities in the mirror dimension, which means Mirror Master will be the only one who can free them and can therefore ransom all of them for billions. Now, considering he can make semi-sentient life with this technology, I can think of a lot better uses of it for making money. But hey, the guy is clearly mentally unstable, so you can't expect too much logic from him. But anyway, Batman and the Flash of course track him down and a fight ensues, and sadly he is able to trap both of them in the mirror dimension. But thanks to Batman stealing Mirror Master's port array, they are able to escape. Super speed is great, but Batman's quick thinking and sleight of hand are just as useful in a superhero fight. And the two of them are able to take down Mirror Master and his sidekick and then save all the citizens of Gotham. And this is one of their team-ups where the Flash gains more respect for Batman, as he showed the Flash that powers are not everything. It's the man, not the superpowers, that make a hero. And in turn, Batman learns that sometimes you have to be a little impulsive like the Flash is in order to save the day. And I know that a team-up where they both learn from each other is a little bit cliché, it's true, but it's a classic cliché for a reason. It makes for a good story. And after all, when you're fighting that close with one another, you should learn more about each other, and that should lead to you having more respect for one another. The Red Death. Now, this one is kind of a team-up, as they do work together. Well, sort of. Basically, in an alternate dark universe, Batman has lost every one of his sidekicks, and he wants to use the Flash's Speed Force power so that he will have the super speed needed to protect not just Gotham, but the whole world. He needs this power as he's getting older and weaker and won't be around forever, and someone's got to save them, and in Batman's mind, that someone is him, and only him. But the Flash knows that if Batman uses the Speed Force in this way, it will only lead to ruin, because he's made the same mistakes himself, just as he did in Flashpoint. So he refuses to help Batman. And so Batman does the only logical thing he can. He abducts the Flash and straps him to the hood of the Batmobile, planning to use him as a fuel source to enter the Speed Force and take the Flash's powers by force. Perfectly logical. Unfortunately, it instead merges the two of them into one life form, the Red Death. And the Red Death has all of the Flash's powers, but Batman is in the driving seat and controls the body. So like I said, it is a team-up, but it's not a team-up in the traditional sense. But hey, the two of them do still end up working together, even if it is kind of by force. Now this whole experience, combined with all the people that Batman has lost, has driven him kind of insane. And so he ends up going on a bit of a killing spree, wiping out all of his rogues gallery and probably quite a lot of other people. And he's also able to create Speed Force constructs in the form of bats that can drain people of their life force, which is why the Batman Who Laughs recruits him to join his team of evil Batmen and attack the DC main universe. Now, if you're not familiar with what happens, the long of the short of it is, a bunch of evil Batmen, all of whom in some way resemble the super beings of the Justice League, attack the main DC universe, and the good guys of course stop them. In the case of the Red Death, they are able to hit him with positive life energy, which reverses his polarity and turns him into a reverse Red Death where the Flash is in control and Bruce Wayne disappears from the driving seat. So basically, Barry Allen becomes the Flash again and has all of his powers. And he then joins up with the heroes to help stop the evil Batman. But sadly, the Batman Who Laughs always suspected that he would betray them because he was only ever half a Batman, and so he wasn't privy to all of the plans that they had. But the Batman Who Laughs didn't care that he was going to be turned because he also knew that once they hit him with positive energy and give Barry Allen control of his body again, it would also kill him, as the Red Death is made of dark energy, and when you hit the negative with the positive, it basically ends up with him disintegrating in just a few minutes, thus ending the not quite Batman and Flash team up. But still, it's a great concept, and it's a great story to read, so I fully recommend it. And those are the 5 best team-ups of Batman and the Flash. I'd say Flashpoint is probably the best one, as the story is just fantastic. But I do love the Red Death and the dark alternate Batman stories, all of which would be great for adaptation into an animated film or series, so I do recommend reading them if you're not familiar. But which one of these is your favourite? And are there any other Batman-Flash team-ups that you love that you think should have been mentioned on this list? Feel free to let us know in the comments, and I'd just like to quickly remind everyone that we have some merchandise available on our store, and to say thanks to all of you who have donated to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.